This was my gateway drug, okay? Hello there and welcome back to my channel, or welcome if you are new here. My name is Isabella and I'm so excited for today's video because today I'm going to be talking to you guys about my September TBR. I think I've read about 10 books in the past 3 months, which is huge for me because I was not reading at all for a while. I'm really enjoying reading again and I have a very long list of books and comics that I want to read. So let's talk about my plans for reading in September. I've got a good mix of physical books as well as ebooks, and I also have some picks of comics that are digital and physical. Starting with the physical books, I have book 2 and 3 in the Thrawn trilogy, which is Dark Force Rising and Last Command. Beautiful covers, by the way. I really enjoyed Heir to the Empire and I'm super excited to read these and finish the trilogy. I'm hoping to get these done before Legacy Expo, but we'll see. I'm probably gonna have to really lock in and probably listen to the audiobooks as well because I'm just obviously able to get through a lot more if I'm listening and like doing chores, working around the house, whatever it is. Very excited for these. Dark Force Rising. The dying Empire's most cunning and ruthless warlord, Grand Admiral Thrawn, has taken command of the remnants of the Imperial fleet and launched a massive campaign aimed at the New Republic's destruction. Meanwhile, Han and Lando Calrissian race against time to find proof of treason inside the highest Republic Council, only to discover instead a ghostly fleet of warships that could bring doom to their friends and victory to their enemies. Most dangerous of all is a new Dark Jedi, risen from the ashes of a shrouded past, consumed by bitterness, and scheming to corrupt Luke Skywalker to the dark side. Thrawn is one of my favorite villains. I just love how cunning and witty he is. He's just really fun to read, and I'm really excited to read about the New Republic. I'm also very intrigued to learn more about this Dark Jedi, because who is he, where did he come from, and what's gonna happen to Luke? I hope he's okay. The Last Command. The embattled Republic reels from the attacks of Grand Admiral Thrawn, who has marshaled the remnants of the Imperial forces and driven the rebels back with an abominable technology recovered from the Emperor's secret fortress, clone soldiers. As Thrawn mounts his final siege, Han and Chewbacca struggle to form a coalition of smugglers for a last-ditch attack against the Empire, while Leia holds the Alliance together and prepares for the birth of her Jedi twins. Overwhelmed by the ships and clones at Thrawn's command, the Republic has one last hope, sending a small force, led by Luke Skywalker, into the very stronghold that houses Thrawn's terrible cloning machines. There, a final danger awaits, as the Dark Jedi C'baoth directs the battle against the rebels and builds his strength to finish what he had already started, the destruction of Luke Skywalker. I just know this is going to be so good. Clone soldiers is crazy. What does this mean? Do they mean like clones as in like clone troopers? I don't think so. They must mean like, well, maybe. I don't know. This came out in 93. I don't think they're clone troopers. Also, a coalition of smugglers is kind of insane. And then poor Leia being pregnant with twins, dealing with all of this. I'm praying for my girl. Why is everyone after my boy Luke? He's been through enough. He's a sweet, sweet boy, okay? Just leave him alone. I'm super stoked to read these. I know they're going to be amazing. I'm really expecting them both to be 5 stars, so we'll see. I am going to be vlogging reading both of these books, so stay tuned for that. The next book I have is also part of a Star Wars series, and that is the 3rd book in the Dark Lord trilogy. This is Dark Lord: The Rise of Darth Vader. I loved book 1 and book 2. Those were some of my favorite reads of the year, so I am really excited to dive into this one. He is officially Darth Vader throughout this entire novel. I think it's going to be really interesting to read the inner monologues of Darth Vader because I was reading Anakin Skywalker for 2 books, but now he's Vader, so I'm really excited to see how he compares mentally. Obviously, he's in a very bad place, he's gonna be in a very bad mood, and he's gonna be very evil, but it's gonna be really interesting. So yeah, I'm very excited to read this and round out this trilogy. This summary of the book is very long, so bear with me. From the site of Anakin Skywalker's last stand on the molten surface of the planet Mustafar, where he sought to destroy his friend and former master Obi-Wan Kenobi, a fearsome specter in black has risen. Once the most powerful knight ever known in the Jedi Order, he is now a disciple of the dark side, a lord of the dreaded Sith, and the avenging right hand of the galaxy's ruthless new emperor. Seduced, deranged, and destroyed by the machinations of the Dark Lord Sidious, Anakin Skywalker is dead, and Darth Vader lives. Word of the events that created him, the Jedi Council's failed mutiny against Supreme Chancellor Palpatine, the self-crowned Emperor's retaliatory command to exterminate the Jedi Order, and Anakin's massacre of his comrades and masters in the Jedi Temple has yet to reach all quarters. On the outer rim world of Marcana, Jedi Masters Roan Sheeran and Bol Shitak and Padawan Oli Starstone are leading a charge on a separatist stronghold, unaware that the tide, red with Jedi blood, has turned suddenly against them. When the three narrowly elude execution and become the desperate prey in a hunt across space, it's neither clone soldiers, nor the newly deployed stormtroopers, nor even the wrath of the power-hungry Emperor himself they must fear most. The deadliest threat rests in the hideously swift and lethal crimson lightsaber of Darth Vader, behind whose brooding mask lies a shattered heart, a poisoned soul, and a cunning, twisted mind hell-bent on vengeance. For the handful of scattered Jedi, survival is imperative if the light side of the Force is to be protected and the galaxy somehow someday reclaimed. Yet more important still is the well-being of the twin infants, Leia and Luke Skywalker, the children of Anakin and his doomed bride, Padme Amidala. Separated after Padme's death, they must be made safe at all costs, lest the hope they represent for the future be turned to horror by the new Sith regime and the unspeakable power of the dark side. I don't know how this is even possible, but I am now even more excited to read this. Reading Vader hunt down Jedi is going to be tough. That I'm not necessarily going to enjoy. But like I said earlier, just like getting into his mind and seeing how he's going to rationalize all of this. And like, I know there's going to be so much from his past that's brought up. And seeing the transition from clone troopers to stormtroopers is also going to be really cool. I cannot wait to start this book. Also going to be doing a reading vlog on this one. Now we're going to shift gears into something much more cozy and fun. This is Bookshops and Bone Dust by Travis Baldree. This is the second book in his series. The first one was Legends and Lattes, which I absolutely adored. I had never read anything like that or anything in the cozy fantasy genre before, and it was such a treat. It's set in a traditional fantasy setting, very similar to D&D, but it's very low stakes. It's not this like grand adventure where the world is ending and this huge group of people have to get together in order to save the world. It's usually more inward focused. It's about the journey within. It's very cozy and aesthetic. There's often coffee shops or bookstores or potion making, very cozy academia kind of vibes, which is where I want to disassociate to. You know what I'm saying? Like, yes, I love to go on like a grand adventure, but like maybe without the anxiety. You know what I'm saying? Very excited to be reading this book. And I believe this is a prequel, actually, to Legends and Lattes. I'm not 100% sure. Viv's career with the notorious mercenary company Rackham's Ravens isn't going as planned. Wounded during the hunt for a powerful necromancer, she's packed off against her will to recuperate in the sleepy beach town of Merc, so far from the action that she worries she'll never be able to return to it. What's a thwarted soldier of fortune to do? Spending her hours at a beleaguered bookshop in the company of its foul-mouthed proprietor is the last thing Viv would have predicted, but it may be both exactly what she needs and the seed of changes she couldn't possibly imagine. Still, adventure isn't all that far away. A suspicious traveler in gray, a gnome with a chip on her shoulder, a summer fling, and an improbable number of skeletons prove Merc to be more eventful than Viv could have ever expected. I didn't realize that this is set in a beach town, which is kind of perfect to read in September because it's still summer, it's still very hot, but it is leaning towards those like cozy vibes of fall, so I think this is the perfect book to read this month. I love this author and I'm so excited to read more from him. Now switching gears to some ebooks, the first one I'm going to be reading is, and don't judge me, Twilight. Okay, let me explain. The Twilight movie came out when I was in 6th grade. This was prime teenage girl era for me. This was at the exact moment that boys started being on my radar, that I started being interested in romance and reading and fantasy. This was my gateway drug, okay? Twilight was also my very first fandom that I was a part of online. Of course, I was fans of things as a kid, but it was like you would just talk with your neighbors or with your friends at school about it. But this was the first time I entered the internet, went onto forums, followed Facebook pages and Instagram pages, started seeing memes of fandom stuff. I started really collecting things from like Hot Topic. So like I have very, very, very fond memories of this fandom. And I read these books like I read these books 17 years ago. I feel 80 years old. And even better, I convinced my girlfriends to reread all of the Twilight books with me. So I made a little book club. We're going to try to meet once a week in person, and if not, we'll do like a Zoom call, but we're gonna have like a little girls' night. We're gonna read 5 chapters a week and then get together and discuss them, probably like, you know, have some little snacks, have a little wine, and just like yap and act like we're 12 years old again. I think this is the book I am most excited to read, and like, yes, I've technically read it before, but it's been 17 years. I'm sure there are some things I forgot, and I'm sure there's also a lot of differences between the book and the movie, which I'm excited to see. Another thing is the first time around, I was Team Jacob. Now that I'm older and know how relationships are supposed to work, I don't know if I would say I'm still Team Jacob, but we're gonna read all the books again, and we'll watch all the movies again, and then I will give you guys an update and see, am I still Team Jacob, or am I Team Edward, or am I Team Charlie, you know? Who knows? Possibilities are endless at this point. But enough yapping. I cannot wait to start reading this. I'm not going to read the summary of the book because you should know it by now. And if you don't know it, then literally how have you existed on the earth for this long? The next story on my September TBR is a comic, and I'm really excited because now that I have a color soft, I can read comics on my Kindle. This is Garlic and the Vampire by Brie Paulson. I have heard so many good things about this story. It has been recommended to me probably 50 times. This also falls under the cozy fantasy genre, and it just looks so sweet. A farm fresh debut graphic novel starring a heroine who is braver than she realizes. Garlic feels as though she's always doing something wrong. At least with her friend Carrot by her side and the kindly witch Agnes encouraging her, Garlic is happy to just tend her garden where it's nice and safe. But when her village of vegetable folk learns that a bloodthirsty vampire is moved into the nearby castle, they all agree that, in spite of her fear and self-doubt, Garlic is the obvious choice to confront him. And with everyone counting on her, Garlic reluctantly agrees to face the mysterious vampire, hoping she has what it takes. After all, Garlic drives away vampires, right? I just think this is so silly and so cute. I love that she's just like a clove of garlic. This is a middle grade book. I think this might be a nice palate cleanser after, say, the Darth Vader book. When I just gotta like lighten the mood a little bit, keep it fun, keep it silly. This is going to be such a fun, spooky read. I can't wait to like get my little pumpkin spice latte and my cozy loungewear and just get all like snuggled up and enjoy the story. The last thing I have on my September TBR are the Mara Jade by the Emperor's Hand comics. I've been reading the Thrawn trilogy and loving it, so honestly it only makes sense to read these in tandem. And it will be very nice to get some more visuals because as much as I love reading books, and yes, they are extremely descriptive, I also love a more visual story, like comic books, so super stoked to read these. There are 6 issues in this series. I'll show off this cover art because it is stunning. Like, come on. That is so cool. She is such a badass. And I am extra excited to read these because I just upgraded my Mara Jade cosplay. So I'm excited to get some like pose ideas as well. Look at her. This cover is so cool. After she fails to eliminate the young Jedi Luke Skywalker, Mara Jade is dispatched to take down a crime lord who seeks to reestablish the criminal organization Black Sun. Little does she know that the Emperor's imminent date with death will change her life forever. So I'm pretty sure that the series takes place before the Thrawn trilogy, and this is when she is working for the Emperor as the Emperor's hand. So it's kind of like her backstory and what her time is like while working for the Emperor, which I'm sure was crazy. It also explains where she was during the original trilogy for people who are like, well, if she was so important, where was she? She's on top secret missions, okay, babe? She's good at her job, and that's how no one knows who she is. I am really looking forward to reading this series, and let me know if you guys want me to do a reading vlog with comics. I think that could be really fun. Maybe I could show some of my favorite panels or favorite moments and kind of show you the art within, because I love collecting comics and I really appreciate it as a storytelling medium. Let me know if that is something that you guys would be interested in. So for the month of September, I'm hoping to read 4 physical books, 1 ebook, a physical comic series, and a digital comic series. I think this is going to be a really fun month of reading, and I cannot wait to share all my thoughts with you guys on these books. Let me know if you have read any of these stories and what you thought of them, without any spoilers, of course. Or let me know what you are currently reading and if you would recommend it to me. Thank you guys so much for watching. I hope you enjoyed this video, and I will see you in the next one. May the force be with you. Bye!